Hello and welcome to your parliamentary program, the Gavel, where we bring you events and developments in the Nigerian parliament. I am Lanre Lasisi. What events and developments took place this week? I can tell you that security, an issue that has been a constant concern and one that lawmakers have considered almost on a weekly basis, was a major issue again this week. The lawmakers also worked on the amendment to the Electoral Act. Now, what did they resolve? That is in our first report.
Just before the National Assembly went on its long recess in July, a bill for an act to amend the 2010 Electoral Act was transmitted to President Muhammadu Buhari for assent, to which he declined for a third time, as read by the Senate President upon resumption on the 9th of October 2018.
Letter from Mr. President received on the 3rd of September 2018. Presidential decision to decline assent to the Electoral Amendment Bill 2018. Presidential decision to decline assent to the Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurship Establishment Bill 2018.
The Senate then mandated its Committee on INEC to revisit the bill and address the issues raised by President Buhari.
Where a smart card reader deployed for
2 weeks later, the committee presents its report and the Senate adopts all the clauses of the bill.
Where a smart card reader deployed for accreditation of voters failed to function in any unit and a fresh card reader is not deployed, the election in that unit shall be cancelled and another election shall be scheduled within 24 hours. No individual or other entity shall donate to a candidate more than 10 million naira.
The new bill, which will be transmitted to the President after it is passed by the House of Representatives, contains some clauses which were still retained, such as, if after the commencement of the poll and before declaration of a candidate, a nominated candidate dies, the Chief Electoral Commissioner shall, being satisfied of the fact of the death, countermand the poll in which the deceased candidate was to participate, and the Commission shall appoint some other convenient date for the election within 14 days. It also retains the initial provision of Clause 10, Section 36, Subsection 3, which deals with the death of a candidate, but proposes that the political party whose candidate died may, if it intends to still participate in the election, conduct a fresh primary within 7 days of the death of its candidate and submit a new candidate to replace the dead candidate. The bill, however, amends Section 49, that where a card reader deployed for accreditation fails to function and a fresh card reader is not deployed 3 hours before the close of election, in that unit the election shall not hold but be rescheduled and conducted within 24 hours thereafter. In line with the President's observation of a short time of only 9 days to collate and compile lists of candidates and political parties for the various elections, the new bill stipulates that the dates of primaries shall not be earlier than 150 days and not later than 90 days before the date of elections. And in the case of omission of a candidate's name or party logo, the election shall be postponed to a date not later than 90 days, and the election officer responsible for the omission is liable on conviction to a fine of 2 million naira or imprisonment for 2 years, or both.
2, 3, 4.
The Senate Committee also made alterations to other portions of the 2010 Electoral Act, apart from the sections which President Buhari called for corrections. It remains to see whether or not these alterations and corrections will receive the President's assent.
Those in favor.
On Wednesday, lawmakers in the House of Representatives also considered the report of the Committee on Electoral Matters on the bill. The chairman of the House Committee on Electoral Matters started with a short introduction.
I want to specifically and categorically state very clearly that all the issues raised by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria while declining his assent to this bill have been captured and addressed.
Lawmakers then considered the specific areas in the bill which President Buhari objected to.
Page 3, where Section 9 of the Principal Act is sought to be amended as there is a new insertion, and that is what we are going to carry.
The House then considers the whole 157 clauses in the document.
126, 127, 128, 129, 130.
The document is also read for the third time to complete the process. Speaking afterwards, the chairman of the committee says she is optimistic that this bill will meet the president's approval.
I want to confidently say that, yes, we have addressed all issues raised by Mr. President, all issues raised by INEC, and of course, all issues raised by members of the National Assembly. So I can comfortably say that we are expecting assent by Mr. President.
As the 2019 general elections draw closer, one wonders if President Muhammadu Buhari will sign this bill into law in time for the elections, or if it will go down as one of the most rejected bills in the history of the Nigerian parliament.
Well, that appears to be in the bag, even though it may not have gotten to the president just yet. But we need to follow that up and monitor the bill as the general elections are not far away.